honestly, I'm just saying, like, if a paladin can't make a good masseuse with healing hands, what is he gonna do?
Yeah,
Like, that's what I'm on about. Like, if you make a charisma check with someone as a paladin, like, oh, hey, let's get this boy to talk. You don't have to go right to Torture Town like a lot of parties do. You get right in there, like, you give them, like, the full, like, shiatsu, or is it a shiatsu that they do? Like, yeah, like a full, like, right in there with the healing hands, a little shoulder rub, like, work all the kinks out. Boom. Whoever you're working on feels like a new man.
and get the happy ending and everything.
Oh, shit.
Get all the
Healing hand. Wait, lay on hands, happy ending. Hot damn. I'll talk. I'll tell you whatever you want to know. All right, let's start the show.
answered.
So anyway, welcome to Dungeons and Talkshows, the only talk show that I know of to bring you the latest in D&D tabletop monsters, news, and homebrews. Today with me, and hopefully always, is my co-host Sam. Sam?
Hello, I am the resident monster researcher, DM, player, host now.
I guess that's what we're going to have to call ourselves, kind of like equal partnership, and bringing the flamboyant showboaty, pretending to be better than he actually is-ness, that is myself as a podcaster, radio host type, Orion. Oh, yeah, going all in, overselling it, overstating it.
You need to get my food in like 15 minutes.
This is how we start everything off. Late for the show, ready to go. Food's in the oven. Don't worry, it's just an air fryer, so we're not leaving the oven on. Ready to go.
If everything bursts into flames, it'll be nice and toasty.
Dude, it is December, it's cold outside, and I am done.
Why don't we, I guess we tell the people what we're going to be talking about in the upcoming episodes, this episode, what we have planned for the future.
That sounds like a fantastic idea. So, essentially what our show is going to be about, Sam here will bring in history and lore, things about monsters, various settings, and so forth. And we'll kind of bounce back and forth, showing off homebrews that we find through Reddit and Tumblr. Have guests on from varying experience levels and backgrounds. And I believe you also wanted to cover community news, is that right?
Yeah, whatever's going on in recent Dungeon Master news, or the recent Cranial Arcana, whatever new feats or abilities or whatever. I know the Drake Warden came out not too recently. That one's pretty interesting. So I always seem to have something pretty cool.
I do like the Drake Warden. It's got that How to Train Your Dragon vibes, and I'm all about that. Like, that's what the Ranger should have been from the get-go. Like, if they had just introduced that in Xanathars, people wouldn't have been shitting on Ranger for as much as they were. Or if maybe we just came together as a community and decided that, maybe we need a little bit more survival so the Ranger can actually, like, show their stuff. Because, like, older editions of Ranger in D&D had a lot more... it was a lot of the same kind of abilities as I understand it. I originally started with 4th edition, then got really deep into 3.5, and I really liked the Ranger in older editions. But
yeah, I'm not too familiar with the older stuff. Definitely, the Ranger has definitely been kind of peeking in my eye a lot more recently.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where, as a DM, your players are only going to shine as much as you allow them to shine. If there's something that I always loved in this dumb game growing up. I used to play a lot of Shrek 2 on the GameCube. Yeah, and they had this one feature in this game where it was called Hero Time. And in Hero Time, what would happen is you would have one of the characters. Now, and they would perform a little mini game, a little special task that only this character can do. Something that is exclusive to their skill set. No one else could possibly do it. Like a donkey's doing his like a little burrow blast type thing where he's just like giving that big old donkey kick. Or a Puss in Boots is like, oh, hey, big, fancy Antonio Banderas, Zorro, you killed my brother type bullshit. Or Fiona is just like singing away, bursting crows. It gives each of the characters a chance to shine. And I feel like as a DM, you gotta give opportunities for a character to shine. And that's just not something we have. It's not exactly baked into modules to like, because it's not going to be in a module. Everything's on a case-to-case basis. That's why we are dungeon masters. It's not a video game. We are the game.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize how much, improv and, how much creativity you have to put into, like, really be the DM, how many scenes you have to create, and, your ability to be descriptive kind of paints the picture.
Yeah, I do struggle a little bit from the descriptive standpoint because my brain and my mouth do not sync up as much as I would like. You've been a player for me and I've been a player for you. Having switched back and forth, we got to get that general experience between DM and player. And I feel like that's what really is going to bring the show together because you and I have both been on both sides of the DM screen in various formats and over the years. And although we may not have the most or the best or long-lived experience, I do think that the experience that we bring to the table is unique enough to offer a perspective. And
absolutely, I agree.
And that's why,
player, DM chemistry.
Yeah, you got to have that proper synergy with the people at your table. And that's why it's mostly a friends type game. Let's see here. That's honestly why I'd like to see some guests like bring in their diverse perspectives. And I'm looking very forward to that.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, good points. Good points.
So what monster do you have for us today, Sam?
All right. So starting off episode 1, the Nerve Militia presents Mimic.
Ooh.
Everyone has heard or encountered these mysterious amorphous creatures. They are infamous and mysterious, and anyone fond of the Soulsborne games, hates them, the bash. When you really think about mimics, how much do we know really about them? How much do we know about their personalities, their intelligence, their ecological systems?
Well, I saw a Mr. Rex video once, and I think the main takeaway from that is they like alcohol. Like that was my takeaway. But what do you think should be a main takeaway? Either from a player or a DM's perspective, from what you've read.
Well, I think as a player, I think it kind of gives you that background knowledge of, okay, how do I play around this? How am I able to anticipate something like this? And it's kind of like as you learn more about these monsters, you're able to play more creative, more intelligent, more strategic, And I definitely think as a DM, the more you know, the better you are to applicate them into your games, make them a fun experience.
I do like the being tricky, and if I remember correctly, mimics in old school D&D, as I understand, they're one of the primary reasons for the 10-foot pole.
Yes.
I mean,
gotta poke.
Aside from you gotta poke every tile, that 10-foot pole came in clutch if you had to be like, okay, that chest over there, a mimic.
Yeah. But then it's kind of like you have to be careful because sometimes the thing where you make your players paranoid. And you don't want to have paranoid group who was scared to do anything.
Maybe you don't.
Yeah, to get whom you least expect.
Good old, expect the unexpected. As a player, I never know what to expect, and I'm perfectly content with that.
Yeah. But I like to go a little bit back into the history of the evolution of the movie. Everyone knows the D&D co-creator Gary Gygax. He coined the mimics in 1974, I believe.
Oh.
3 years later, he gave players a clear picture of mimics with the D&D Monster Manual. So in 1983, Ed Greenwood, creator of the Forgotten Realms campaign, and many of its monsters wrote the ecology of the mimic.
Ooh, that sounds like it'd be fascinating to be on the ground floor of. So mimics aren't like a Tolkien-esque type thing, because I understand that a lot of early D&D was very much based in Tolkien's lore and things of the like.
I believe so, because it was, just kind of the time period everyone was big on the high fantasy.
Yeah, that definitely makes a lot of sense. I just would have thought that maybe mimics were rooted more in some kind of mythology, like I guess I've never heard of a Greek mythology mimic, but that would be a very interesting thing for like a Greek Theros type setting. Now that I think about it.
Something we should have.
We'll get better research as we deep dive into things in the future. Like, after all, when it comes to this show, the sexiest thing we know is research. Clearly.
I guess that makes sense of not the mimic specifically, but just like the shape-shifting tricks, or the possessed and animated objects.
So it's kind of akin to those some Japanese yokai. I would imagine have a similar situation there.
Yeah. Even in familiar ways of as more of the ambush kind of lore and weight, there's the other way to go about these kind of shape-shifting things is things like skinwalkers and
And
what are they called? Dramas like things that are reaching the uncanny valley, barely human, past them.
I had a friend when I was working in a factory, and this guy he had a massive plan. I would love to bring him into the show sometime, but he would while he was working on his machine, he would just have like these cardboard pieces from the boxes. They were straight up like tablets. He was just like scribbling away, and he was designing an entire mimic dungeon that was just like a gargantuan mimic colony, and he was homebrewing new mimics every day. Like, you go into this dungeon, you got to watch your gear, because like if you're not careful, some of your gear might get swapped for baby mimics.
Oh, that's terrifying.
I know. When you
want to reach your sword and it fucking bites you.
I know.
Oh.
Like, you reach in, like, quick, hand me a mirror. We gotta do the thing with the shenanigans and bullshit. It bit me. Yeah, that'd be great. In my opinion, like, it sounds terrifying. It'd be very challenging as a player, but he had all kinds of things planned out for it, from mimic, small mimic hives acting as suits of armor, to some mimics that would be like a humanoid-esque type thing, like much like you were saying, but less to not like full-on shapeshifter, like a changeling or something, just like a couple mimics that are a little younger, just kind of joining together like a Voltron.
Absolutely. Like a Voltron.
Yeah, absolutely a Voltron.
That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah, like, it'd be like that thing that you guys were trying to put together in my campaign that we were running a while back, where it's just like all of you come together in one big Megazord. It's a Voltron.
Yeah, like when I was in my the Soulborn character, and people were able to be warned by me.
Eh. Fantastic character. The moment you have like an Alphonse from Full Metal Alchemist type character, you know shenanigans are afoot. And I feel like that should be made official, if not just like the homebrew should be like refined just a tiny bit more, but we should put them on the website for the people to check out when they get the chance.
Oh yeah, I was super into that character. I'm glad I was able to be able to play it, at least in, the few sessions that I was able to.
Honestly, it was a delight. It's just like every time you had like a socially awkward moment, it was just like, oh well, hey, well, what if we just combine the fucking mean combine? Wear me.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, what? You're not a person in there?
I mean, I'm going off on a crazy tangent.
It made for some interesting stuff. Like, for years, I've thought about the concept of a fusion spell, kind of like a Dragon Ball Z or Steven Universe type thing. Take a 2-character sheet, so you combine some stats. There was a certain mechanic to how that Soulborn character worked that kind of did a little bit of that, and as a DM, I got to see how that interacted and worked with the game, and I thought it was fantastic. Because
I always like the idea of like mimic armor, or having, mimic reactive armor.
I do like that. There's a short story I put together a couple of years ago that was something like that. And ultimately, I think it comes down to like a symbiotic relationship between a mimic and a person is not so far off from something like Venom from Spider-Man or something like that, because that could even be a really fun enemy to throw at players. A berserker barbarian with mimic armor.
He's been like taken over by the mimic.
Oh no, like just imagine like a symbiotic.
Oh, they're working together.
Yeah, a symbiotic relationship. Like they bonded over carnage and booze.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's like, you feed me, I'll help you fight.
Yeah, I mean, come on. The two things that barbarians and mimics both love. The blood of their enemies. Yeah. Yeah, the blood of their enemies, food, and beer.
Like, yeah, absolutely.
I feel like it'd be a terrifying thing to watch. Like, you could have like the mimic with like all these little metal plates and stuff, and it's just like, okay, it's got all these armor pieces, and it's just kind of like moving them around to intercept and block things. Maybe get its own little bite attack and like glue people in place and did a little pseudopod thing.
Yeah, you can make like grapple attacks or like pseudopod attacks.
We got to put a stat block together because I'm really liking this idea right here.
I would make that as like a within suit of armor item or something.
Yeah, like something to mimic. Yeah, you got to give him a good name. But I feel like for like an NPC, that could be a lot of fun. Because like, oh, whoa, this guy's got a mimic on him. Who's going to let him know? Like, he already knows. Trust me.
Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah, that's something I really. Actually, that'd be a pretty cool, like, big bad, like ridiculously strong dude. But his biggest defense is that he's got a symbiotic relationship with a mimic, and boom, like that could be a lot of trouble for a first or second tier party to handle.
Yeah, I definitely believe that the longer a mimic lives, the more intelligent it'll become.
I do like the concept of that. From what I understand, the more feral mimics that everyone's familiar with are actually more rare than anything else, lore-wise.
Yeah, I would think so.
Because it takes intelligence to be able to hunt pragmatically like that and be patient.
The strategic, like to know to be able to wait as this form in this specific place is.
Yeah,
really
it really is. It's very tactical. I mean, a feral mimic I would think reasonably would have very simple forms like a stalagmite or stalactite, wall, floor, something very
rock.
Rock or boulder. It's not just a boulder, it's a rock. Dear Lord, Sam, our modern society, we think in memes. I'm half convinced that the Egyptians, it wasn't hieroglyphs. Oh, look, they have all these pretty pictures. No, that's just a bunch of memes. They covered their walls with memes. That's all it was.
The way to do it.
Yeah, thousands of years later, they're like, oh, what the fuck does this mean? I don't know. I remember there's a bird head right there, and that little motherfucker's doing this, and then I think that means that you got to do this, and you pull that lever. The fuck you mean a lever? That's a rock.
So, going back to
but my insanity aside.
But yeah. The ecology of the mimic is compiled information from scattered lore to one definitive beast here. I believe that Greenwood delves into everything from how mimics transform positions you can make from how mimics transform to what potions you can make from their innards. He outlined the two basic types of mimics, the big stupid killers and the small intelligent beasts. But I feel like, at least for my sense, I feel like the ones that were bigger were probably the ones that lived the longest.
I vaguely remember reading something on the subject of that being the case, because they start out small, and like as they consume more, they grow, and next thing you know, like a very mature, well-lived mimic could be the size of an SUV.
Yeah, right. Or they could, they have the ability to be whatever size they really choose.
Yeah, I mean, just a mimic that size can eat a family of 4, the dog, the cat, have a little, some stone go. Yeah, those are soccer moms, hop inside the mimic, kids.
And about like a mimic ant would be horrifying.
Damn. Can you imagine just like creating a you hire a mimic and you're like, hey, listen, I'll give you all the food, booze, and whatever the fuck you want. Hell, we're adventurers. We kill on the daily. And then you just you set this mimic up with wheels and you just turn into like a little wagon type situation.
Like a cart?
Yeah, a mimic cart. Only viable in the Underdark, but damn if that wouldn't be cool.
Mimic cart.
Well, yeah, it can move a little bit, but like you'd increase its movement speed by putting like some wheels, some axles. It'd be like when you're in kindergarten or first grade or whatever, and the gym teacher pulls out those little wiggle things, and you just kind of like shake your ass, and you're just like zooming all over the fucking place.
I got like the ones in gym class you'd like lay on.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking.
All over your fingers.
Yeah, it's just like, oh wow, so that's how all these kids learn to their swears. Like I definitely wasn't swearing from my kid. They ran over their fingers at school. Some other kid said fuck. The rest is history at this point.
All of that, pretty much.
Yeah. The schools are a melting pot.
So what do you where do you feel like the in its natural form, what do you think the mimic would look like?
Like are we talking like a typical setting or like a modern setting, like what we're living in right now?
Well, I mean, like if it's not taking the form of something, like do you think it would be just like an amorphous blob? Kind of weird.
You ever see the Ninja Turtles?
Yeah.
Krang. I imagine it to be something like Krang.
I had to look that up.
Hey, you've never seen like the OG 1984, 1985 Ninja Turtles?
Do not remember. Who the? Oh,
Yeah, he's just like a little pink brainy blob. He got the little tentacles, the teeth, and he's like, give me a body.
I imagine it was kind of just like the like slimes in a way, not slime, well, like the ooze.
I think they're close, but far enough removed.
Yeah.
But now what I can think about is giving one like a mech suit. The Ninja Turtles got me.
Make it next. Legendary item.
Yeah, it turns out the Warforged of the party was actually a mimic in a mech suit.
Oh shit!
Plot twist, everybody.
I need gnome like a mech.
Introducing my new character, Gnome Ragon.
Like, what do you mean? I'm not a gnome. Like, no one said you were a gnome. That's right. I'm not.
This is, that kind of reminds me of that Will Ferrell elf scene with Peter Dinklage. It was like, call me elf one more time. I dare you. And it's like, he's an angry elf. Yeah.
Or like eating. It's like, he's like, oh, hold on, I gotta go pee. And he's like, wait, you're a what?
Wait, hold up. The party is very confused and mildly concerned. Except for the edgelord rogue. He's over there. He's sulking. If a Warforged takes a dump in the woods, does it make a sound?
Oh my god.
That's real questions. Yeah,
Is it the Galileo?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's like some Socrates right there. And believe it or not, the D20 actually goes about that far back, if I remember correctly. Oh yeah, D20s go way back, thousands of years.
Cool.
Although if I went back in time, I might try to, consider myself a Gary Gygax and start tabletop RPGs just so that I could go back to the future and see how far it goes. Although the Satanic Panic a few thousand years ago with the D&D might not be the best idea.
Fish fowls.
He's a witch! No, you don't understand. I pretend to be a witch on the weekends with my friends. We roll these little dice. He's a witch and a gambler.
Look at him, a gambling witch.
He's a gambling witch. But wait, I must make my constitution check.
I make a dexterity save. Because of being burned alive.
Damn.
Hold on, I gotta roll my death saving throw.
Damn. No, I swear that if anything comes of all of this, this D&D podcast is going to be very much like the tangents you find at your own table. And I certainly hope it works exactly that way. If not, your table might be a little bit more interesting than ours, or just a little less. But you know what? That's okay. I'm not judgy. Except for
sure, meet our other player, and you'll realize we're not the crazy one. Not always.
Oh, no. But probably, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. Perhaps it's subjective.
Yeah.
So, mimics. You got me thinking, what would they be like in a more modern setting? Like, if they had time to evolve a little bit.
Like 100 years? Some like modern D&D times?
Yeah, like a modern D&D. Like, you ever see that movie with Will Smith that everyone was talking shit about, Bright? Yeah, that one.
I've definitely seen it.
Oh, it's a dumpster. A lot of people would say it's a dumpster fire, but you can't look away.
Honestly, pretty reasonable.
Yeah, I found it kind of comical. Like, some people like to get on their high horse and be like, "Hey, that orcs, kind of like the black people of the D&D," but no, like Will Smith is just like sitting there next to his new orc partner. He's like, "Oh, couldn't relate." Because, like, in this world, it's that humans are, like, all together. Like, they don't see color in that kind of setting. There's
Yeah, racism's gone, but now it's just like...
Now racism's gone. We cured it. But now we have racism.
Yeah.
Yeah, congratulations. We cured it by having orcs, elves, and dwarves and shit. By the way, fuck those guys, because, they're orcs, elves, and dwarves and shit. Because... yeah, that's how tribalism works, essentially.
Black is fine. Green? How dare you?
Oh, the nerve of some goblins walking around. But I do like... you ever play an orc?
Play an orc? I've not.
Well, you should try it sometime. It's pretty neat. But... honestly, I did find that it was kind of interesting seeing how society with those kind of differences kind of interacted as like someone tries to put it together into a movie. But I think the movie could have been way better with mimics.
I think it would have been better as a show.
You know what? Ain't nobody got the budget for that.
I mean, you're right. But like,
so
well, they would have been a pretty good show.
Get HBO on the line. That'll fix it right there. Now, if it was like a fantasy buddy cop show, like a Hawaii Five-0 in the Forgotten Realms, I could have gotten behind that.
Tamriel's Most Wanted.
Tamriel's Most Wanted. That's it. Roll up like... oh, bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Sir, you realize you have a...
His heart gets stuck.
It's great. Hey, you got a license for all that fairy dust back there? I swear.
That's what they said in the movie. They were like, trying people with like fairy dust or creepy dust or something.
Oh, I'm sorry. If I'm just relating things to like real world drugs, I need to think more fantasy. Like
it all comes back to bright, man.
Damn it! They got me. It
come full circle.
Just gotta sit down and accept that it may not have been a great movie, but it was a movie and it made me remember.
There you go. The fact that you remembered it at all, it's astounding.
I have a dumb memory for things. Like Alf.
Oh, God, Alf. Don't
They had a midget for that costume,
I believe it. Wait, I thought Alf was a puppet.
No, they had a guy in a costume.
What?
Legit.
Was it Peter Dinklage?
I think this was before his time. This was like in the 80s.
Damn it. How old is Peter Dinklage?
Well, one of these days we have got to do an episode on the Game of Thrones tabletop game, but dedicate the whole thing to Peter Dinklage.
You know what? He was born in 1969.
Well, from what I know, it was some other midget. Although I don't think you're allowed to say that word anymore.
Yeah, I didn't think it's offensive now.
That's a shame. I mean, I would think that it's probably more offensive if I start using terms like halfling or gnome or hobbit.
Yeah, I'd probably be a lot worse.
Yeah. I feel like if I was to sit down and have a conversation with Peter Dinklage, any one of those words would get me the stink eye way faster than midget.
Dude, you're right. Alf was played by a small guy. Mischievous, 33-inch tall.
33-inch tall actor? Dude, I got 33-inch tall children running around this house.
33 inch?
To give you perspective, 36 inches is 3 feet.
Oh, so you're right.
Yeah, sorry guys, we're in America, we're using the imperial system. I wish we were using metric, but we can't always get what we want.
Damn, he died in 2016. Let's rest in peace, Alf.
R.I.P. Alf. Yeah, I remember hearing the news on that.
Today's episode brought to you by Alf and Raid Shadow Legends.
Yeah, Raid, sponsor the show, bud. As if Raid is a person. It is now.
Well, Raid is
like a patron. Could you just...
It's a patron.
Dude, I want to play a character where my patron is Raid Shadow Legends. We'll just create the Raid Shadow Legends Warlock subclass. All I'm saying.
Maybe like pitch it to critical.
It's like, yo, Matt Mercer, how would you like to collab with us nobodies on a little thing called the Raid Shadow Legends podcast? I mean, subclass. I'm really liking this whole mimics. Like, I've only used them a couple times in my games. I think that was before you joined, actually.
I do think they're pretty interesting. They have a lot of potential. A lot of applications.
Well, I understand a lot of the applications come from the adhesive.
Yeah, they secrete like almost like a glue from their skin.
I think it's from their innards. Like, you said something about potions earlier.
Yeah. You can use mimic hairs to make various kinds of potions. I believe that you can extract the glue-like substance in their pseudopods and their skin.
Yeah. When I as a player, I always try to get that stuff because the adhesive's just too good.
Yeah. It always makes the grappling so good.
Yeah. Honestly, it's not unreasonable to think that, like, as a player, if you formed a relationship with a mimic and you just like, hey, you want to hang out with us? And you just like, it's like a milking situation. You can like milk it for its adhesive.
Yeah, I'm sure. Have like excess or something. Just kind of wipe it off, put it in a bottle.
You could probably reasonably actually have like shops in your worlds where the you go over to like what was it, Xerox? Is that the place where they do like the copy things of the paper? And you're just like, oh hey, I gotta send something out and I need some stamps, I need to seal this letter, but I'm all out of wax. So it's like, oh no, but no problem. Hey Cinder. What? Well, we're sending out a package. I'm on it. And just just a little
pipe bottle on it.
Yeah, just like a little slip and it's like boom, got it. He works for peanuts, people. No, literally, like the little peanut jars right there. You can give them a little bit. I feel like that'd be a great thing to run in D&D, like just like it'd be a little comical side excursion. I could see that in a podcast, you know?
A mini post office.
Yeah, the mimic post. That sounds catchy. Yeah, you go in. Yeah, you need your letters mailed. You get they do the stamps. They do all the shipping. They send it out. You get the courier all going, and you give them a little bit of something to eat, and they just keep producing the adhesive. And also, you can
mimic post where your letter may or may not be a mimic.
Yeah, you can also buy like vials of it, and it's like, hey, would you care for some mimic glue? Yeah, it's like Forgotten Realms Gorilla Glue.
I feel like Gorilla Acid.
Dude, I think every party needs a couple vials of Gorilla Glue. Like, that's obviously going to be Mimic Glue, but...
Basically duct tape.
Yeah, I mean... You know what? Yeah. That Mimic Tape.
Yeah.
You put Mimic Tape in your games. That's what we need, Mimic Tape. Like, obviously, everyone at the table will have the understanding that Mimic Tape is duct tape. So anything that you as a player could reasonably do with duct tape. Yeah.
For just anything.
It's like,
build a boat.
Dude, I want to build a boat. Make a survival check with Mimic Tape.
Yeah. With advantage.
Yeah, you need a real mature Mimic for, like, the flex tape level stuff. There's like, I could even saw this boat in half. Well, actually, our barbarian cut ours. We need Mimic Tape.
Oh, I could saw this Mimic in half.
It's fantastic. I love it. Mimic Tape. That's what I need for my games. I need to write that down somewhere.
I'm going to secretly add this to my shopping.
Yeah, adding it, like, I'm going to need, like, some in-game notes, Mimic Tape, all caps. Boom, got it. I'm going to have to... what's the DC typically to get out of that? Because I would imagine that'd be the DC for the tape.
I believe it was just shit, so I'm not wrong.
Or
That's to be wrong.
I
believe it's a...
You're wrong once, the comments will never let you hear the end of it.
Oh, sorry, it's an Escape DC 13.
That's reasonable.
Not too bad. If you have, like, basic strength.
Yeah. So it's like the average person has a plus of 0. So, you got a little, like, maybe a 40% chance or so. It's like, you'll have to work at it a little bit. It'll kind of hurt.
But then that's where the danger comes in for, the weaker. It's like mages. When a mage gets caught by a mimic, you're in danger. Like, uh-oh, I'm in danger. Like,
dude, do you know how many... If you just used Mimic Tape on Magic users when your players end up in a jail, boom, tape their mouth shut. That'll fix those verbal components. You gotta tie their hands up for the somatic.
Basically like a deafens.
Yeah.
Or not deafens, sorry, silence.
Yeah, sure, why not? That's exactly what we're going for. Mimic
martial class thing, even I can cast silence. Pull out Mimic Tape.
With the power of Mimic Tape, marshals are now on par with casters.
Finally.
It's about time. We solved it. We can end the podcast now, because we do need a soundboard. That would be fantastic. I personally would have too much fun with a soundboard. Maybe that's a bad idea.
But what's our time looking at?
Our time? You know what? That's a very good question. And we've been at this for about 43 minutes or so.
I think that was a good time to head into your segment.
Well, it's looking like I need to pull up the very first thing for our Reddit showcase. And that is the Piton Arrow. Is it Piton? Piton? Piton?
I believe it's
like a
let's
Creton?
go to good old .gov. Googling. How do you say .gov?
Damn. Merriam-Webster, save us all.
Let me see. Piton.
So, I'm not like I'm not dumb. It's Piton.
Promise we're not looking for it.
Listen, when you sit around failing high school Spanish, watching anime, and picking up tidbits of this and that. Languages start to overlap, and then next thing you know, you find out you're an idiot.
Why do you need
I don't need to go to your high school. I am you.
I am the high school. I was the high school the whole time.
Mimic high school. Here we go.
It's come full circle again.
Now, I see that. That's what Strixhaven should have been, just a mimic school.
Yes. But your Piton Arrows.
Yes.
Would they do more damage? Do they have special effects? Could they pin a body part to a wall or something like that?
Ooh, that's a very good question. But essentially, they work like any Piton does, in which you fire the arrow, and the Piton Piton.
Every time.
I'm just gonna rotate it. You know, gotta be considerate to all the linguistics out there. Yeah, so you fire it into a non-magical surface, like a wood, stone, or metal, and where it transforms into just a regular Piton. And then that's going to stick out about a foot. And the Piton can hold about 300 pounds of weight, and it'll remain there until it's removed with a DC 18 athletics check.
What fires? Is it fire from crossbow?
It just seems to be an arrow, but, a bolt doesn't seem unreasonable. I mean, your setting is your setting. If you want to sell arrows and bolts, I think that's perfectly reasonable. And
I can definitely see, thicker bolts made of, a stronger metal, having a lot more impact.
Now, for those of the audience that may not be familiar, pitons or pitons are those little things that climbers use while scaling tall rocks or mountains or things of the like, where they kind of like run their line through it in case they fall. Yeah,
so they have a stable.
Yeah, it's a stable thing, a kind of an assist type situation. Although
they even need like a foothold or something to hold on to.
Yeah, it's indispensable for a thief type character, the rogue trying to scale a wall, go up real high. Like they're kind of standard in a lot of adventuring kits and go widely unused. I don't know outside of myself if I've ever seen someone use one of these.
I don't believe so. I believe people just kind of use their natural or magical abilities to climb things. I don't think they ever go to the scriptings and the pitons.
I mean, I'm the kind of guy that sits there like, hey, listen, let me build a pulley system. And that's how
10 minutes with a pulley system.
Yeah, let me just take 10 minutes and I'm going to build me a pulley system. We're going to figure this out. And it's just like, okay, maybe not all of us wanted to go to an engineering college. Maybe not all of us. But this was created by BJ Hypes, the art by Path of Pixels. BJ Hypes has a website. Let's plug that. bjhypes.com/100 arrows. So like 100 for the 100. Put that in the description on our website page so that people can check it out, or maybe in description below if whatever hosting platform we decide to go with for all this is. But thanks, BJ. I think this is a fantastic item, and I would love to see one of these in future games.
Can you even see this becoming a thing of kind of like you could run the line through it and fire it from the crossbow or whatever?
Kind of like use it like a harpoon, like yeah. I feel like player creativity would go through the roof with trying to use this in combat. Like I could see myself trying to make tripwires out of it, like put like a little loop some rope through that tight at the end. Fire your shot, it's stuck in there. You fire the other shot, boom! You got yourself a tripwire with rope, an arrow, good to go. hell, you could get that going, like, just a bunch of them, and bam, 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 tripwires through an entire area. Now, that would be, you'd create some difficult terrain. You could create traps easy with that. It'd be a great way for climbing. Or if I would imagine the first thing that comes to most minds with such an item would be the classic scorpion, get over here.
Absolutely.
Oh, our resident strong boy in our current game would love to do something like that.
Oh yeah, now that he has the belt of cloud giants.
Dear God, belt of cloud giant. Got him.
Well, I believe I have one weapon to present as well.
Oh, I am hyped for this one. What have you got for us?
Now, as we all aware, taxation is theft. So therefore, I have the tax blade to present for you all.
You know,
where
this
use the power of taxes take their lives from.
This has got to be like the epitome of like libertarians everywhere. Like, yep, we got them.
This is gonna be, it's very evil blade worn by 5 people with power. The long, sleek, golden brown blade has, I believe it is metal slots going through the base of the blade, into the hilt above the guard.
Ooh.
So this is a rare long sword.
Okay.
The way this one works is, while out of combat, you can place the 10 gold coin into the circular slots and you bleed. During combat, you can use a bonus action to activate this bleed by spending 1 coin. Once activated, your next attack with this weapon gains +1, and your damage roll for every coin you would spend. The attack is considered magic. When a coin is expended, it melts away and it is destroyed.
I love this. I absolutely love it. Because, like, so many times in D&D, do you find yourself with too much gold and not enough places to spend it?
Yeah, not enough items you feel like you need.
Yeah.
Where you end up buying stuff for the sake of buying stuff. A weapon that accurately, amps your damage by how much gold you put into it.
Yeah, absolutely. And depending on what kind of gold setting you're running, like if the players are like if it's a low gold setting, then this would be like, oh, you got to use it sparingly. And that could really set some tension. Like, okay, high cost, high reward. Like you're saying, it takes gold pieces. How long does it take a commoner to earn gold in D&D, just a standard setting?
Man, imagine like the power play to be like fighting the enemy, bust out a gold pouch, pop in 10 coins, ready to beat their ass.
That would be hilarious.
But the potential of +10 to your attack and damage rolls for the cost of 100 gold is astronomical. That's very much the high reward for a high risk. Well, high price.
Well, let's see. Yeah, the average commoner earns about 550 gold a year.
And we'll have, let's speak actual rates.
Oh, no, they do. I had to look it up real quick, but yeah. So let's just say, I might be wrong because it's, it's the first thing that shows up, but that's fine. That's probably.
Yeah. So yeah, this weapon is, I don't know where exactly this tag is used, but it is labeled a shot buff. So whoever they are, thank you for this very cool idea.
I really like that because there's a cost reward. And I feel like a weapon like this would be very at home in anyone who's running Acquisitions Incorporated.
Oh, yeah, you think so?
Oh, as a DM who has run an Ac Inc. game, I know so. Because we got spells like Jim's Magic Missile, where like there's the royalty component. where you used to have to spend a gold as part of casting the spell.
So I have found his Twitter. I'll go ahead and link that.
Yeah, shout out to
Mob. Thank you for your cool weapon. I do believe that this page does various creative ideas, cribble, dragon prints, and stuff like that.
Ooh, Dragon Prince. I want to get this guy in for an episode.
Man, you know what? I was looking on Netflix earlier, and I was scrolling through, and the new Dragon Age Inquisition or whatever it is.
I saw that.
Did you know Matthew Mercer is one of the voice actors?
I gotta look now.
I was scrolling through and I heard his voice, and I was like, "Was that?"
Yeah, well, after listening to a little bit of Critical Role and other podcasts, it's like, oh, you start hearing them everywhere.
I'm starting to hear Ashley everywhere.
My wife was listening to a thing not too long ago. I think it was like an audiobook. And then I'm just like, the Marisha Ray. I'm pretty sure that's Marisha Ray.
They're all so great.
Well, it's easy to forget, like, hey, these people have careers, and that's very much their career.
Forget that a lot of them were like actual voice actors.
Yes, you forget that a lot of them aren't basement-dwelling, netgears.
I mean, the Critical Role business is just amazing. All of their fundraising, the foundations, all the merch. I would love to buy some Critical Role merch.
Yeah. Well, first you gotta get out of poverty. First step.
Yeah.
Have you tried not being poor? I haven't tried it myself, but yeah. I never thought about it like that. All right.
Lead for our final topic. We have some news. Yeah.
Oh, well, yes. From what I understand, it's been the talk of the town this week, or at least within the community. The Wizards of the Coast has announced that they're for 1D&D. Now this could very well be subject to change due to game design, logical consistencies, or maybe even just backlash from the community. It could be subject to change. But, 1D&D is a on-developing product that they're planning on releasing in 2024. And currently it's still 2022 at the time of this recording.
Yeah. It'll be Christmas before we know it. 2023 is fast approach.
Oh, it is, and it's going to be quite a year for us, kicking off our podcast at the dawn of the new year. That's really something to look forward to. But as I was saying... what?
Oh, I'm sorry. Definitely think...
Yeah. Anyway, what's really been stirring up the community this week has been the race species swap, where they're planning... they're basically doing away with the term race and going for species. Now,
I do.
Yeah, we talked about this before the show, and I'm more in the camp of I'm used to calling it race. So, like, can we just focus on mechanical things that matter? Like, I want this game to. If it's going to be one D&D, there's only going to be one D&D. I want the one D&D to turn out right.
Man, I didn't even think about this. With the potential of this merger to do, like, amazing things for monster lore and world lore and everything like that is going to be huge. They could do so many things. They could expand so much more.
How so?
Just like... things that they scrapped from the older editions, things that they never really got to express as much as they maybe wanted to, or maybe could.
Yeah. The thing is, the total plan for 1D&D is to be a backwards compatible with 5e. So it's like, it's going to be like 5e, but more? And I know other people are like, oh, hey, 5.5e. No, it's just going to be D&D, and that's all there's going to be. And honestly, I've been wanting something like this for a while, because I don't want to have to move to a new system every so many years for like the mainstream D&D thing. Like, of course, you don't have to, but I want like the streamlined main thing of content for D&D to be consistent and compatible. Like, D&D should just be one big thing for the most part, and just all the content that's released for it be all compatible and consistent. If I want to play a different game, I'll play a different game. If I'm going to play, Call of Cthulhu or Deadlands or Star Wars or, hell, even the Doctor Who tabletop, which, that's a nightmare because everyone wants to be a Time Lord when you play that.
Doctor Who, what else is
there's humans and other things, and I don't know. I skimmed it.
Really call that ever seen Doctor Who? So
you've never seen Doctor Who?
I have not. It's so much at this point to try and get into. Like,
no, you just drop yourself into like the parts that have Matt Smith or David Tennant playing the Doctor. Because
wasn't there like 13 different doctors?
Yeah, but like a lot of the episodes are actually lost and will never be recovered. Because there was like a fire that destroyed a lot of the original tapes.
Oh no, that sucks.
It's unfortunate. Like there's scraps and pieces of the series throughout the ages, but like, unfortunately that's how it is. You could
it will be like that sometimes.
Yeah, you can legit watch most of the Doctor Who from like the last couple decades up to like 2016, and you'll be perfectly fine.
Also, not the way back.
Yeah, you honestly don't have to watch any of that to get it. It's just time traveling dude with wibbly wobbly, wimey timey, twisty turny shit,
and then big mean robots.
Yeah. You got robots that look like trash cans with toilet plungers, and you got aliens, and there's a girl, there's like another girl, and the time travel bullshit.
A little girl?
Oh, yeah, the Doctor gets around, and then he gets sidekicks, like Batman. Shit, I'd be willing to see it. You know how Death Battle gets things, sometimes they get it right, sometimes they get it wrong. If they could show me a Death Battle with the Doctor and Batman.
Look, everyone knows Batman can't lose.
I mean, yes, it's true, but like
people say, with enough prep time, Batman can beat anybody.
But the same goes for the Doctor. With enough prep time, he can beat anything and anyone, and he's got time.
Got time on his side.
He's got time. Now, Batman probably win that shit. I don't know. Back to the main thing, though. The what do you think on species versus race?
I mean, it's one of those things where it's kind of like, who asked for? I don't know who's really concerned about that kind of thing.
I would have to agree, because I don't think it's prevalent or that it necessarily matters to the greater whole of D&D. I mean, like, if you're trying to balance things out and make things work on a mechanical level, what word you use for different peoples doesn't really matter.
Right, it doesn't really change.
There's clans, there's houses, there's races and species.
Being great, then it's just gonna end up with them, being species. It's the same.
Yeah, I don't want to have to explain to my players how the goblins that they just ran into are being very speciesist. Like, I sound dumb. Like, here I am. I'm gonna be sitting there just like, oh, hey, listen, this is what's going on. By the way, this clan seems to have some very speciesist views.
And as many people don't like many types of people.
Yeah, it's just like, I personally feel like one of the big things about D&D is that in game, you're gonna face off against a lot of bigoted characters or peoples or things of that nature, or races. Like elves and dwarves always at each other. They hate each other. That's a thing. You know, it doesn't always have to be the thing. Every setting is different. You do you for your table. What's best for your table is best for your table. You don't have to run it the same way that I do, and I don't have to run things the same way that you do. And ultimately, it's just, if you are against racism, or you're against hateful people, or anything like that, it's like, okay, well, I'm against war. Okay, cool. I'm against racism. Cool. I'm against rape. Real bold stance there. I would think that if you're in a tabletop setting, oh, hey, these people over here are being racist. Like, damn, you kind of got yourself some justification. Like, the enemies are supposed to be assholes, you know?
That's very true.
You got, I mean, what better way to justify, like, oh, well, the hands are tied. The guys are a bunch of racists.
They burned this village because they're racist. So I guess, whoops. We gotta go track them down.
Yeah, I guess we gotta go skin me some hillbillies.
Canceled.
Done. The podcast was done before it even started.
There was still a chance.
Nah, I'm too outspoken. But
You will not be silenced.
that's just how it goes. But yeah, that's generally what I'm thinking. Like, if I'm in a game, I generally want to be the hero. I want to put an end to injustices and things, like ending a war so no one else has to die, or changing a racist's mind. Like, oh, hey, listen, you don't...
Insurance.
Yeah, listen, Gimli, you don't have to hate Legolas because he's got knife ears. It's just like, you don't have to be that way. Or maybe the enemy being a bigoted asshole is like the plot point. Like, that's okay. And the thing is, in the game, there's going to be all kinds of conflict. You're simulating a world full of conflict at its peak.
Yeah. The beauty of being a DM is you really get the chance to show, like, what people can be like, what people can go through, like, how you can make a difference, how you can help, and how you can feel, emotions that maybe you don't get to feel on your regular...
Yeah, like, in my regular everyday life, I don't get to be a beacon of hope for people. I don't get to go be the hero. I don't get to save children from burning buildings. I don't get to go around ending feuds and changing minds. I got kids to take care of, an economy collapsing around me. I got priorities. I don't get to go off on big grandiose adventures fixing the world. And in D&D, you get to go fix the world. It's like, oh, hey, there's a problem. Dragon apocalypse, and the dragons really, really hate a few specific groups of humanoids.
And at the end of the day, it's a group of friends kind of getting out of their lives for a bit, enjoying their time together and living in a world that at their fingertips, at their imagination.
Yeah. And I think that's fine. I just, the whole species thing, like, I get it. But at the same time, I'm sitting here looking at my old 3-5 chart of what races can fuck what races and reproduce. Yeah, there is a supplement for 3-5 called the Book of Erotic Fantasy, and it had a table for that. I'll show you after the show. It's great. And for everybody else, I'll put it on the website. But it's fantastic. It's like, okay, what races can reproduce? Cool. Because in real life, I'm not going to say that there isn't some overlap and some reasonability for why they're saying species. It just, I'm kind of stuck in my ways, and I kind of like race. it's a shorter word.
Yeah, I don't think it really makes a difference whether they say race or species or not.
I heard a good argument for breed, but that also sounds offensive. Like, what breed?
Breed seems more like a subrace, I think.
Yeah,
Like a subspecies.
it does. Also, I think I might be mildly offended if someone's like, "Hey, what breed are you?"
Yeah, right?
It's like, yo,
Just like, I like everyone.
oh, hey, what's your species? The fuck you just say? Nah, I don't know. It just seems weird to me.
It's one of those things where it's like, no one asked for it, but happy to have it, I guess. Like,
I'll take what I can get. Like I said, if it's at my table, I'm going to run things the way things work for my table. And if I end up using old terminology and I'm the outdated grandpa of the group because of it, so be it.
as long as the players don't have a problem, it is what it is.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. And I think that's a great note to end the episode on. Just do what's good for your table. If you're having fun, then your players are having fun. That's the greater good right there.
At the end of the day, it's all about the players.
At the end of the day.
From DMs to you, this is Nerd Militia Presents D&D Talk Show.
Dungeons and Talk Shows. Here we go. Bye.